regular notice requirement of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act has been compiled with, and that adequate advance notice of this meeting has been given at least 48 hours in advance. On June 20th and 21st, 2017, notice was mailed to the Courier Post and the Aldea. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board located by the reception desk at the central office and all school buildings bulletin boards within the district. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, we will be swearing in Ms. Teresa Atwood, Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton, and Mr. Nanam D. Nelson for their new terms. I, Teresa Atwood, affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. I, Teresa Atwood, affirm that I am not disqualified as a voter, and I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or any offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1. I, Teresa Atwood, affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a board of education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties that office according to the best of my ability. Thank you. So I need you to sign. Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton. Can you please raise your right hand? I, Felicia Reyes Morton, affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. I, Felicia Reyes Morton, affirm that I am not disqualified as a voter, and I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or any offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1. I, Felicia Reyes Morton, affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. Thank you. You can, Felicia, can you please? Please hold up your right hand and repeat after me. I, Nanam Nelson, affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the government established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. I, Nanamni Nelson, affirm that I am not disqualified as a voter, and I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or any offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1. I, Nanamni Nelson, affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. Thank you. I just need you to sign that. So at this time, we're going to transition back to the stage. Now that our board members have been sworn in, I'm going to call the roll. When I call your name, please say present. Ms. Teresa Atwood. Ms. Catherine Blackshear. Mr. Jose Buito Bueno. Ms. Taisha Minair. Mr. Wasim Mohammed.
Present.
Mrs. Felicia Reyes Morton. Mrs. Martha Wilson. And Mr. Nanamni Nelson. At this time, I call for a motion to open the floor for nominations for board president. Do I have a second?
A second. A second.
I think we have to do the roll call first, sorry. Yes. So I'm going to call your name and you answer yes or no. Call your name, please say yes or no. Mrs. Teresa Atwood. Ms. Catherine Blackshear. To open the floor to nominations. Mr. Jose Buito Bueno. Ms. Taisha Minair. Mr. Mohammed Wasim.
Yes.
Mrs. Felicia Reyes Morton. Mrs. Martha Wilson. Mr. Nanim Nelson. Are there any nominations for board president?
It is my honor to be able to make a nomination for Ms. Catherine Blackshear for board president.
Do I need a second? Does anyone second that nomination?
I second that.
Are there other nominations?
Nominate Ms. Martha Wilson.
Does anyone want to second that? Okay. Okay. Can I have a motion to close the nominations?
I second.
All those in favor of closing the nomination? Any opposed? We have two nominations for board president, Ms. Teresa Atwood and Ms. Martha Wilson. Oh, sorry, Ms. Catherine Blackshear, my apologies. First time. We are going to take the votes one at a time. So when I call your name, I'm going to first do the nomination of Ms. Catherine Blackshear. And when I call your name, please say yes or no.
Yeah, technically for nominations of president or nominate, technically don't have to have a second. A lot of times people second, but you don't have to have a second. Nominate somebody for a particular office. It doesn't hurt to have one, but it's not detrimental if you don't have one.
So this is a vote for board president for Ms. Catherine Blackshear. Ms. Teresa Atwood? Ms. Catherine Blackshear? Okay, you can't? Okay. Mr. Wasim Mohammed? This is
Yes.
for Catherine Blackshear.
Yes.
Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton? Ms. Martha Wilson? So now we're going to do the vote for Ms. Martha Wilson for board president. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Namdi Nelson, your vote for Catherine Blackshear, yes or no?
Yes.
Now we'll do the vote for Ms. Martha Wilson for board president. Ms. Teresa Atwood? Ms. Catherine Blackshear? Mr. Wasim Mohammed?
No.
Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton? Ms. Martha Wilson? Mr. Nam Nelson?
No.
Okay. The numbers, right? So for Ms. Catherine Blackshear, we have 5 votes yes, 1 abstain. For Ms. Martha Wilson, we have 1 vote yes and 5 votes no. So Ms. Blackshear has a nomination. Congratulations. Can I get a motion to open the nominations for vice president? Second?
Second.
Do we have any nominations for vice president? Sorry. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. As I call your name, please answer yes or no to the motion to nominate vice president, someone to the board as vice president. Ms. Teresa Atwood? Ms. Catherine Blackshear? Mr. Wasim Mohammed?
Yes.
Ms. Feliz Reyes Morton? Ms. Martha Wilson? Mr. Nam Nelson?
Yes.
Do we have any nominations for board vice president? Are there any? Is there a second?
Yes, I second.
Are there other nominations? Is there a second to close the floor for nominations? Okay. There is only one name nominated for board vice president, that's Mrs. Felicia Reyes Morton. So we'll now close the floor to nominations and congratulate Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton as the board vice president and Ms. Blackshear as the board president.
If, I want to open it up to any board member comments now. Any comments from the board members?
Thank you, Madam President, and congratulations to our new president. Congratulations to our resumed vice president. I want to first say to Ms. Martha Wilson, we appreciate your years of service and your experience that you have, that you bring, and the humility that you bring to this table, and wealth of information. We know that you're still going to serve this community and serve our children of the city of Camden. We appreciate you. And us, and as well to the new member of the school board here, I think is it's a wonder, and we appreciate the presence of people who look like us. For males in the city of Camden to see another positive role model from the city looking like them up here, and we appreciate that as well. To Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton, we appreciate your wealth of information that you bring to the board, and I look forward to continue working with you. And Ms. Catherine Blackshear, once again, congratulations. Very wealth of knowledge and experience, and I think the people of Camden is still going to be served. And thank you very much, and congratulations to your reappointment, and we appreciate that, and we look forward to working and making sure that we move Camden forward. Thank you.
Madam President? Yeah. I want to say congratulations, Madam President, Madam Vice President. I'm looking forward to us moving forward to do whatever we can to gain control back of our board okay? The Board of Education, Camden, New Jersey, from the state, okay? And I'm looking forward to getting to know Mr. Namdi and seeing what I can do to help him with his nonprofit that helps children in the city of Camden, okay? Thank you.
I too would like to say congratulations to Ms. Blackshear and your reappointment again, Ms. Reyes Morton, to the positions that you're holding. And with that, we all know the importance of us working together as a team to be unified, to create accountability and transparency on all of our behalves, not only us sitting at the table with the things that are going within our school district. So again, the children are counting on us, and we're the ones who have to make sure that we work along with our superintendent to help make it happen for them. I've had a pleasure of serving for 2 years as the president. I worked along with Ms. Blackshear as vice president before, and I will continue to work along with the rest of this body and this team. I've got 2 more years at the table. I've always been. I don't have to be at the center of the table. I've been here 20 years. I've never asked to be president or vice president, but I believe that all of us have something to give, and I thank you.
Yes, I'd like to start off by saying congratulations, Ms. Blackshear, as well as Ms. Morton. I look forward to your leadership. I'd like to say thank you for inviting me into the board. I look forward to serving the community as a member of the city of Camden for the past 38 years. I definitely have seen a lot. I definitely know there's some hard efforts across the board. I'm looking to help unify us as a city, as well as bringing some of my background and expertise to help serve our young adults. So I know all things are possible when we do it together. I would like to find a way to take out the opposition and find a way for us all to be one, with people really serving the same cause. Not meaning we're going to always agree on everything, but that we can come out and, do what's in the best interest of our young adults. So I'm here to serve. Please don't hesitate to call on me, and thank you.
We'd like to welcome Miss Taisha Manir. She came in a little bit late, but we want to recognize that she's here now. The question on this, do any board members have anything that they would like to say?
Well, I apologize for being late today, but I want to welcome you on the board as well. I'm glad that we finally have someone on the board to support us and help us, move Camden forward, because that's what we're here for, to support our children and support public education. And I'm happy you're here. Congratulations.
The reason why I'm not really saying anything, because today was another sad day for me. Not only that, the last board meeting, I was sad because we lost Miss Burley, but I'm sad again today because of one of my best friend, Miss Corinne. She's famous for Corinne's Place, lost her mother this afternoon. So I just want to say, if you see me a little bit really not here, it's because I just lost somebody I truly love. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that, Ms. Blackshear, and our condolences. To her. I just wanted to welcome Mr. Nam Nelson to the family. Welcome. That's what we are. We're a family. We work together. We, for the betterment of the children and families in the city, and, looking forward to having some extra energy and, someone that can help get the groundwork done with us. It's fun sometimes. It's crazy sometimes. It's, but when you look at the end benefit and the impact that you leave on families throughout the city, and you can see that for yourself, it's all well worth it. And so, it's always a pleasure serving with all of you here, and I just want to thank you for your time, commitment, volunteerism, your advocacy, and, your leadership. So thank you, guys.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to our SBA to read the Code of Ethics.
The Camden City School District Code of Ethics. I will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired changes to be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. I will make decisions in terms of educational welfare of children, and I will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. I will confine my board action to policy making, planning, and appraisal, and I will help to finance policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. I will carry out my responsibility not to minister the schools, but together with my fellow board members to see that they are well-run. I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education, and I will make no personal promises nor take any private action that may compromise the board. I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to special interests or partisan political groups or use the school for personal gain or for gains of my friends. I will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the school which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the school. In all other matters, I will provide accurate information and, in concert with my fellow board members, interpret to the staff and the aspirations of the community for its schools. I will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendations of the Chief Administrative Officer. I will support and protect school personnel and proper performance. I will support and protect school personnel and proper performance of their duties. I will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer, and I will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution. Will the board president please make a motion to accept the Code of Ethics? Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion to accept the Code of Ethics was made by Ms. Catherine Blackshear and second by Ms. Taisha Manier. As I call your name, say yes or no. Ms. Teresa Atwood, Ms. Catherine Blackshear, Mr. Jose Buito Bueno, Ms. Taisha Manier, Mr. Wasim Mohammed,
Yes.
Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton,
Yes.
Ms. Martha Wilson, and Mr. Namni Nelson.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, we're going to ask the board members to sign the Code of Ethics. We're going to transition into public comments. This evening's meeting is focused on the annual reorganization and a few May approvals, so we may not have a presentation from the superintendent or the deputy superintendent tonight. We're going to transition directly into public comment. The Camden City School District welcomes the attendance and comments of all members of the public at its meeting. The public comment period is your time to be heard on the agenda in this meeting. Each person who signs up to comment will have 3 minutes. You will be notified when your 3 minutes are up. You cannot yield your time to another person. When it's your turn to speak, please remain please remain at the podium and address all your comments to the board president or the superintendent. Please conduct yourself in a respectful and courteous manner. For anyone whose comments or actions either harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of another person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. Also, if you curse, use vulgar language, or make personal attacks, we will provide you with a warning or end your comment time. We will not interrupt you during your 3 minutes of comment. Members of the audience should also not interrupt the speaker at the podium. If you have any questions, please ask your questions during your 3-minute comment period. After the public comment period is closed, the superintendent or his designee will address your questions to the extent provided by the law. Mario Perez.
Good evening. My name is Mario Perez. I'm a parent with Parents for Great Academy Schools. Over the last 5 years, it's been a pleasure working with Superintendent Payman Hanaford on a number of community meetings that have been benefited to the families of Yorkshire School and Creative Arts Morgan Village Academy. Your leadership has opened doors that were once closed and had given parents such as myself a real place within schools. All we ever wanted was to be heard, and Payman, you have made sure that we were. I, like so many others tonight, wish you well and look forward to working with your replacement to ensure that parents remain involved and that Camden schools continue to rise. When I began this work of empowering parents, we did not have many options. The process to find a school, learn about a school, and then select a school was like having a full-time job. For many, it was frustrating and overwhelming, so they just stayed put and their children stayed at the same level for years. Today, Renaissance schools serve 3,850 students and have achieved ELA proficiency of 27.3% and 26.1% math proficiency, compared to 12.2% and 8.8% of students attending traditional district public schools students, respectively, and serve the same percentage of special education students and English language learners at the district. Too many children were being left behind in the past, so parents wanted a choice. We needed a choice. What right does anyone have to say that I don't or we don't? Parents for Great Camden Schools has had the pleasure of working with you to support parents' needs and desires. And going forward, we will look forward to working with this replacement on these things that make sense and hope to be partners to figure out those that don't. Good luck, Payman.
Josie Rodriguez.
Good evening. My name is Josie Rodriguez, and I am a parent with Parents for Great Camden Schools. And I just want to say that Superintendent Payman, I wish you and your family well, and thank you for your work these past 5 years. And it has been great from day one to have someone who understands and parents needed to be included in this process. For too many years, decisions were being made for us, but without us. When I first began working with you, one of our concerns parents shared was too many of our students were not being prepared for college and that the options were not in place for them to get ready for the future. As you leave over 300 school students and earning college credits at Camden County College this year, and the district has tripled K-8 math proficiency in 3 years and more than double proficiency in reading at the same time. Today, there are 46 increase in the SATs participation and 22 increase in the PSAT participation. While we still have a long way to go, process has been made. It is now on us as parents and at the new superintendent to make sure that our success is not taken away and that the district continues to make changes to policies where negatively impacting families. And to discuss her plans is to add more activities for boys and girls during and after schools as a way to keep them safe and healthy. We have to make sure that our schools continue to become places where the community invites and where doors are open up so that we can make sure our children are surrounded by love and understanding. If we work together rather than focus on being different or apart, our city will get stronger and with it in the future for all students. It should not be about the type of school, it should always be about the quality of the school and if we as parents can believe it and based on its results. Thank you. Take care.
Helen Ferrante.
Good evening. Tonight, I will start with some various points of interest that I have learned over the past 2 years. You see, today, I graduated from Rutgers with my master's degree in public administration, with my specialty in educational policy and leadership. Thank you. This marks a tremendous milestone for me, both personally and professionally. So now I will reflect on my past 2 years. Here is a short synopsis of what I have learned. I have learned how to properly allocate funds to follow specific federal and state guidelines so that our children will succeed in their prospective educational fields. I have learned how important true and honest leadership is to the function in a school district. I now know the value of veteran teachers and staff members. I know the importance of diversity within the school district within all job positions. I know the importance of working with the community to build upon the community interest for their children in all aspects of the school development. I know the importance of having qualified and certified staff to make sure that the district follows the law to the fullest extent that represents the children's best interest and needs. I have learned what excellent leadership is represented through the various schools that I had the opportunity to work at last year. I now know the importance of teamwork and a positive climate and culture because it matters. I now am very versatile because of the opportunity. Last year, I had the opportunity to teach every grade level, kindergarten through 8th grade. Within this experience, I now can go into a leadership role in administration, saying that I have literally taught grades kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th as of December of last year. I am ready to be a leader in this school district. I look forward to my future opportunity within this school district, and I hope that the opportunity will be there for me moving forward. Thank you for your time.
Keith Benson.
Good evening. For folks who aren't aware of it, there was a court case that went to New Jersey Appeals Court in April, I believe, where residents were trying to get their right to vote for these Board of Education seats that you guys are sitting in right now. The superintendent was paying thousands of dollars for an attorney to stop residents from getting the right to vote. So as you folks are coming up here thanking him for how great of a guy he is to this community, understand he was paying an attorney to stop residents like me from voting who sits right here. To anyone that has any semblance of caring for democracy, that would be an extreme problem. But fortunately, the people won. And on November 6th, all of us residents have the right to vote to decide whether we want to decide to elect these board members or continue to have the mayor just appoint who he wants. Unfortunately, right now, we're in a situation where the mayor is just simply appointing people who he wants to sit on the Board of Education. Now, if the same folks, can you pause my? If the same folks come November the option to vote. Please remember on November 6th, go to the ballot, decide that you want to have your voices heard. Now, when I heard the superintendent was resigning, I think it was April 11th, I got a phone call from a reporter, and at first, internally, I celebrated. But then right after I celebrated, I prayed, because I prayed for so long that he would be removed some way or somehow. And that prayer was really important for me, because the job that we have as educators and as CEA president is much bigger than the superintendent. But him leaving, understand he was sabotaging our schools for 5 years. So with a new superintendent coming in, we have the opportunity to make our schools great places that they could be. It's his job to make sure our schools are staffed appropriately, that our schools are safe, that our schools are clean. There were things that were brought to his attention in August that he chose to ignore. So when folks are talking about how much better certain schools are, which I think that's a stupid conversation, because I want all schools to be good because they serve kids. But understand that the complaints you guys have about our Camden Public Schools, he bears a lot of that responsibility. So remember, when you guys come November, that we have the chance to decide who sits up there, and hopefully a brighter day is coming. When this guy is gone, we have somebody new coming in in the superintendent's seat.
Lorraine Miller.
Good evening. I'm Lorraine Miller, and I've been here many times before. I'm a true advocate for all children. I have a verse here that I think is so appropriate. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. And that's a lot of food for thought. And I have been thinking since I first started to advocate in Camden, I was concerned about democracy, because I really do wholeheartedly believe that all citizens have the right to vote, even on this particular level. The next step, I'm also trying to understand, and I still don't have clarification, and I hope somebody can clarify it for me. We have charter schools, we have Renaissance schools, and traditional public schools. And I know that there's several reports that are submitted to the state, CUSAC. Now, one thing that I'm wondering about is, are the Renaissance schools required a CUSAC report to the state? And, you know, I'm also trying to understand the public funding part and how that applies, because I would like to ensure that everybody is getting their fair share for the sake of the children. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Jennifer Perez.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Perez, and I'm a parent with Parent for Grace Catholic School. I would like to thank the superintendent for the progress that he has made. But I also would like to touch a base about school safety. I recently had an issue with my son almost being stabbed walking home from school. And I would like to have a private conversation with you about that. As well, thank you for all that you have done, and God bless.
Aretha Turlington.
Good evening, and congratulations to everybody up there. My name is Aretha Tarlington. I'm also a parent advocate for Parents for Great Camden Schools. And over the last 5 years, I did have the pleasure of working with Mr. Paymont. And we would like to just take the time out to talk about the positive benefits that we have come about. One of the changes that we have was beneficial. The increase in Camden schools was the enrollment with more schools. Parents were able to choose the schools that they wanted their kids to go to. And the best part of that was actually getting, better during the time. Today, our dropout rates have been cut in half, down from 21%. And then I'm gonna just go on to what I wrote. My name is Aretha Tarlington. I'm a parent advocate for Parents for Great Camden Schools. I wanted to speak on about commit. I'm sorry. I don't like talking in public. I always get nervous. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about staying committed in our children's education because I hear we have a new superintendent coming. So I just want to stay committed and to advocating for the kids and work closely with the new superintendent and hope that she will help us to still continue to do that. Thank you.
Desmond Benson.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Benson. I'm a North Camden resident, and I'm also a parent for Great Camden Schools. I also used to work for Parents for Great Camden Schools. In the time I've been working with schools in early childhood, I've seen success in the students. Moving on, the percentages are greater. As to talking to families, I have a variety of options to talk to different families in the early childhood area, and the facts cannot be understated or compared of the success that I've seen in the last 4 years that I've been here. Major change has happened because of the Camden enrollment, and after talking to parents, I feel as though the Camden enrollment was a successful thing that you guys brought on. It made it easier for our parents to enroll students into the different choice that they want for their students. Um, Here to say that the record change is good. It's needed with a system that fails students. We cannot be stuck in our old ways because that's where we're comfortable. We need to be challenged. Our students need to be challenged. Guys need to challenge us and challenge our students more. If we are not educating in children and supporting them and their success, parents have the right to choose. And anyone that stands in the way, it won't be good. It's crazy. Who are they to decide that was right for our children? My family children, your children, people that sitting out here. And even then, I'm sure they would want the best for their students here in Camden. That's what I want as a parent for the little crazy one that's running around, you see. We strive for the best for our kids, especially when we were not given that for me when I was in Cooper's Point in North Camden. My name is Desmond again, and I'm glad to be a parent here and have choice because we deserve all opportunities to succeed. This has been especially true for my family with the students who need to make sure that their children are beginning in school in a positive environment. I look forward to working with Superintendent McCombs as she moves forward and coming into Camden in her new position in the 21st century. Please feel free to call on me during your term. Thank you.
Odessa Morton.
proud grandparent and great-grandparent of 5, 4 of which are in different Renaissance schools throughout the city of Camden. But because of transportation reasons, 2 of them had to go back to their neighborhood school. And that's where my frustration lies. My granddaughter went out in surgery in January. Till this day, she has not had any schoolwork. And she went back to school today. And that's what's got me, but I'm not going to go there. But the communication with the school did not let me know what was going on, and I was asking them, they could have made work up, and I'd have went and picked it up for them, but they wouldn't even do that. And I wish somebody would find out what's going on with the communication and let me know. She went back to school today, so that's doing a lot of good. She's out of school next month. Thank you all.
Carmita Coleman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carmita Coleman, and tonight I want to speak on safety and security around our schools. Too often, our students are asked to navigate dangerous situations just to get to and from schools, not only to and from, but also during school times. I was going to read from here, but I just have to say this. My child goes to a charter school, and I noticed that most of the charter and Renaissance schools don't have security. They have a teacher that's appointed as security, and I'm not feeling that too well. My child, along with many other children that live in the community where I live at, was scared to death because of the gunshots that rings out in my neighborhood. For 2 weeks, it's been a war going on. And my child should not have to come home, which he should get on his knees and pray, but he should not have to come home out of fear because of the violence that's going on in the neighborhood. He should be able to feel safe to walk into school. He should be able to feel safe while he's in school. He should be able to be safe while he's in the playground, not running, dodging bullets. He should be able to walk into his home without any fear of being shot. My main issue is he wants to go to another school, but transportation is an issue. A lot of transportation is not provided to get to these other charter schools that I feel that would meet his needs more better. Only thing I want to say is, I know I'm probably getting a little off topic, but we need to bring back old school. We need to have it how the old public school used to be. I'm just being honest with you. We need that. We're getting too ahead of the technology. Our kids are not even writing anymore. They're using a board. How are they going to be able to sign a check when they get grown? How are they going to pay their bills? All this electronic stuff it's all fine and good, but we really do need to get back to the way things used to be. Thank you.
Cheryl Duckett.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Cheryl Duckett, and I'm a parent with Parent for Great Camden School and proud grandparent of 16. My family haven't always had great experience with the school system, and many of us can say that it has failed us. However, your time here have been spent on correcting those past mistakes and not giving family new opportunity. This is the time for our special need students and to say I thank you. As we move forward, I would like to ask the incoming superintendent to be more mindful of needs, to add more after-school program, as our kids are not always safe outside of schools. And so we will need to do what we can to help them and encourage them in a safe place. They know and trust. Over the last 5 years, it has been a pleasure working with the superintendent. I'm not going to get your name right, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it. on creating new opportunity for the families and changes the way that the district have viewed residents. We are better today. The kids are going to school. More of their grades have also been improving. More students are graduating high school. Thank you for that. New schools are being built. Old schools are being fixed. For years, students have complained about the buildings, classrooms, and now they can be proud to go to school in Camden. No, we have not been able to take care of everything that we need to while we were here, and there is still more work left to be done. I hope to work with Katrina to get this work done for my grandchildren and all grandbabies in Camden. We deserve the choice, we deserve success, and together we can give family what they need and deserve in life. Thank you very much.
Brian Morton.
Brian Morton, Executive Director, Parents for Great Camden School, proud parent of 3 Camden City students. I want to start off by thanking the board members for their past service, Ms. Wilson. I know where your heart definitely is. I would also like to congratulate Nnamdi Nelson for his appointment. And I'd like to say, you know, Paymon, I've had the great opportunity of knowing you personally, so it's been a real pleasure. You know, knowing you and, you know, going back and forth and sharing some perspectives from the community. I also want to share that recently I had the great fortune of doing some traveling. I went down to Memphis, and in addition to seeing the Civil Rights Museum, I got to meet a group of parents that are fighting for choice down in Memphis. And that's a community where the elected and appointed leaders have said that black and brown people don't have the ability to actually understand choices. You know, so they need people making decisions for them, you know, for their children. I got to travel over to Chicago, where a school system that was once, you know, chronically failing is now succeeding at a rate that is astonishing within the Chicago public school system. And it's a sister that's leading them. So, you know, I look forward, Ms. McCombs, to your leadership. And I was down in San Antonio where, you know, there are so many options being talked about, but there is no input or place for parents at the seat of the table. And then I get to come back home and I'm like, you know what? No, we haven't figured it all out just like other places. But at least we have had the opportunity to include parents in the conversations. Have the outcomes been to everyone's liking? No. But you know what? We've had a seat at the table. We've had the opportunity to have the conversation, and I'm hopeful that those conversations will still continue to take place under the leadership that's in place on the board, that's consistent, and under the new leadership coming, because that's needed. And those places that are lagging behind Camden City, they're missing that. There's no room for parents. And the racial divide or the opportunity gap is so extreme, you know, that I was happy to come home. And again, I'm like, we're not perfect, but you know what? We're moving in the right direction. And I am a firm believer, yes, I'm a firm believer that people should have a say in who their board is. But I'm also a firm believer that those individuals that are being voted in or appointed to the board have the qualifications and ability to lead a board and make decisions. So it was exciting to see Ms. Atwood and Ms. Manier, get their board certification, something that I know Ms. Wilson and Ms. Reyes-Morton have vehemently pushed for this board if we want to move out from under QSAC or where we're currently at with QSAC. So my statements tonight are simply about, we're not in a perfect place, no. And we may never be in a perfect place. But we are in a much different place than we were 5 years ago, where we were the epitome of failing throughout the state of New Jersey. We are no longer the stepchild in New Jersey. More kids are succeeding. More kids can succeed. But it will take rigor. It will take tough curriculum. And it will take decisions from our leadership. And that's on both sides of the fence. Accountability
Thank you, Mr.
has to be a
Morton.
priority.
Can you please wrap it up?
Yep. Accountability has to be a part of all decision making. Otherwise, you can put whatever policies you want in place and students will still fail. Accountability is going to be critical within the system, and inclusion of parent voice is going to help ensure that people are being held to a standard that is leading to success for our students. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to your continued partnership.
Tracy Housworth.
Good evening. I have a little speech prepared. My name is Tracy Holsworth. I have 5 children at Mastery Molina, and 3 of them attended when it was just regular Molina. There's always 2 sides of a story, but this is my side. I was furious when Mastery took over Molina. New teachers, new scheduling, new everything. My 2 daughters adjusted well, but my son did not like it or take it so easily. Then all the phone calls started to come. I never ignored those calls. I went into meeting after meeting. And do you want to know why I like Mastery? In these meetings, they ask my child what they can do to help him. Lunch with their teachers, extra breaks, fidget materials to help him. His teachers, out of the kindness of their hearts, even offered free tutoring to catch him up. My children's principals have called me on Sundays to tell me how well my children are doing in school academically and even their behaviors. Also, every idea or project that I have that pops into my brain, I let the school know and we put it into effect. The school respects me as an equal, and I'm proud to be one of their parents. I am not against public schooling, but I'm very grateful to have Mastery as a family. Thank you for this amazing opportunity. That's it.
Ruby Ratliff.
Good evening. My name is Ruby Ratliff. My grandbaby attended Master Molina School. I live just 2 blocks away. Over the last 22 years, I have cared for over 100 foster children. Almost everyone has attended Molina or other schools. I have a lot of experience. Tonight, I want to say how much I love Master Molina. Tonight, I want to thank the superintendent and the board for bringing a great school to our kids. Thank you.
Demarius DeHuses.
Hello, everyone. My name is Damaris De Jesus. I currently have 3 children enrolled in Mastery Molina Upper in Camden, New Jersey. I was born and raised in Camden as well as my children. I also attended Molina as a child before it became a Mastery school. This is currently my children's 3rd year in Mastery Molina. I have 2 third graders and a 4th grader. My experience with Mastery has been great. The teachers are patient and kind. They always keep me informed about my children at all times. I can honestly say they care about all Mastery students and their education. The deans are always on point, respectful, and work hard to help Mastery students. The staff is always respectful and kind. The principal is amazing. Excuse me. I'm happy to say that I am a Mastery parent. I want to personally thank the superintendent and board for their leadership in making Renaissance schools like Mastery possible. Thank you.
Kim Davis. Kim Davis. Kevin Barfield.
Good evening, everyone. Kevin Barfield, a parent. First, I definitely have to say congratulations to Mr. Nelson, Ms. Wilson, thank you for your leadership, those who have been reappointed. A night like tonight, let me see, I think there's probably been like 10 reorgs as a parent over the years. And it's like kind of like, you know, I hear the speech, and I don't want to be the party pooper, you know what I'm saying? But I have to be realistic about, again, when these nights come and we have new board members that come on, and then we have situations like tonight where we have a superintendent that's leaving. And I have to do some reflection again also because, you know, no disrespect for parents for great public schools, but, you know, for so many years I've been hearing, thanks Mr. Paymon for coming and working with us as parents. You haven't come to work with the DPAC, which is a parent group here since you've been here. So I do still feel as though that you slighted the parent groups. There is room for parents here. We have an ELL parent group, we have a special needs parent group, and we have a Title I parent group. And not one have you gave the same attention that you've given to them. The fact also is that because of the John Arnold Foundation, which financed Parents for Great Public Schools, Camden Enrollment, Teach for Across America, of course you came with a pre-schedule, a pre-playbook on reference to how to sell the propaganda about we giving parents choice. As I mentioned to Ms. Wilson in the past, because I've always believed in, because again, as a parent, I believe that we all have choice and we all deserve to have a quality education for our children. But I can no longer sit here as a resident and continue allowed to see business as usual. So I will be more vocal when it comes to, as we move forward, to hold this administration and this board accountable. And I'm gonna say that in reference to because of the fact that as reviewing the plan from the state intervention plan that Mr. Paymon Rahanafer was supposed to have been following, it's a lot of things that were not followed, which was basically, this was the reason why we were supposed to have been taken over. And when we talk about, one of the things that they talked about in this particular document is in reference to since 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, in reference to having improvement plans that were in place but were never followed. The fact that if you want to talk about true graduation, talk about those students who are started in the 9th grade and them following through, that's graduation rate. Over the years, Camden has only had a 12% rate in reference to overall graduation rate. Now, when we talk about statistics, when we talk about what's happening now, we're not talking about the fact that we have a crisis with attendance.
Mr.
And
Barfield,
a lot of
your
it,
3 minutes are up.
okay, and a lot of it has come through the fact of the changes that have been taking place, neighborhood schools being closed down, and parents now all of a sudden have to get their children to a distance that they are no longer within the the area where they qualify for transportation. So again, I'm just want to say that, thank you, Ms. Wilson, for your leadership. Thank you again, Ms. Atwoods, for standing up. Because to me, this is like another situation that seems more political than it is about what's right for our children. So that's what I have to say for tonight.
The next person on the list, I'm going to apologize because I can't read your writing. The first name starts with a T, and it looks like the address is 1102. Okay. Halalda Hernandez. Alicia Rivera.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a parent for Great Camden School. I'm an advocate. I'm a parent of a daughter that goes to Mastery School. I would just like to say thank you to everybody up here for everything that you guys have done. Mr. Payman, thank you. I met you 5 years ago. You did good, not just for Mastery, for schools in Camden, for our parents, for our community, and everybody. You guys took some guts. You brought in Renaissance School, like Mastery. You guys gave us an opportunity to have our opinion in which school we could take our kids to, and we thank you for that. Not just Paymont, but all of you, because without all of you, we couldn't do what we've done so far. Our fight is not over yet. We will continue to fight for our parents, our kids, because as an advocate, my thing is school is number one, especially for my daughter. She's in 9th grade, and she's happy. She's going to a new school. Thanks to Mastery, they renovated Palm Point. And not just her, but everybody. I mean, first time in history, I think, that we're going to have a high school in North Camden. I mean, we have a K. We have a K to 12th grade now. So it's because of you guys, not just Payman, but all of you. And we want to say thank you. And thank you, Payman, for everything you've done. That's it.
Jonathan Cooper.
Hello, everyone. Just want to, first of all, thank you. Some of y'all know I've been to these meetings since, I think, October. I missed the last 2 meetings, but I did catch them online. So y'all know I've been to the meetings consecutively. In case you don't know who I am, Tracy Hallsworth, who came up earlier, 5 kids, I am their uncle. And I'm involved also with their education as well. And once again, I want to thank Mr. Rahama Ford for his leadership. There was an issue that we had at Mastery, and you handled it. Also, thank you to Ms. Wilson for your leadership as well. Congratulations, Ms. Blackshear, for your position. I just want to say, first of all, sorry, Mr. Rahama Ford, to you and your family. I wish you well on your next endeavor. And I especially wish this board well as well. This is actually going to be my last meeting because I'm temporarily a resident of Camden, but I'll be relocating next month. So I'll still look and see what's going on in the community. But I just want to say thank you for all that you do. And once again, best luck to you, Mr. Hamerford.
Brian Coleman. Brian Coleman.
Sorry, I was out in the hallway. Good evening, Superintendent, Madam Chair, and board members. I am Councilman Coleman. I'm here to I know I got 3 minutes, so I'm going to try to make it quick. First, thank you all for serving and giving your time to the people of Camden. Sometimes it's a thankless job, but it's about the kids, and you guys stand up there month after month with your passion for the kids and bettering Camden as a whole. So again, I thank you for doing that. Also, I want to thank the superintendent for his leadership, his caringness about the community. I say that because his first year here, me and him walked Fairview and Centerville, and he walked me to death. And I say that because he was trying to increase enrollment, and it was something that you don't see most superintendents doing. But he knocked on doors. There were no cameras following us. There was no media. It was just the people in the community. He reached out. He said, I'm going to be here in this area. Anybody who wants to come and see me, who wants to aid in making sure we get enrollment up, get these kids out, get them in Head Start, and whatever it took. So I know you have some people that sometimes, and we go back and forth about, we can agree or disagree, but I can assure you that anyone in this room that has been here on a consistent basis at one point sat down with the superintendent and had a conversation. You may not have agreed or come out with the same thing, but at least he met with the people here, at least once. And sometimes as people get positions, they pass you off to someone else, an aide or someone else, but he met with you. So I thank you for that hands-on, listening to the people here in this community. And also I want to thank Ms. McCombs, the next superintendent here, someone who I've known since kindergarten and homegrown. And I'm saying possibly for the first time, we have someone that is from Camden, here in Camden, and going to look out for the people of Camden, the children of Camden. So I don't know if anyone, I know we hear stories, but I'm here to say publicly, as a public official, I support you, the people in my ward support you, and everybody that has supported me now say they support you. And we would love to see you there carrying that mantle, because I remember when, just a real quick story, we spent 12 years together from kindergarten to high school as friends in the same community. And I remember when she left and said, I'm going to school, but I'm coming back. And she did that. She kept her promise to come back here. And a lot of people don't come back here, but she did. And that in itself speaks for the type of person that she is. So I just want to publicly say, we got your back. I'm going to get in front. The people are behind me. The community wants you. We support you 110%, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that we get the message out that you're the person for this community, for our children, and you're going to work with these parents, and you have a great board there. You have some new appointees. You have some wisdom on the board. You had a lot of people that can give you guidance, because when I started as council, I needed that as well. So learn from them. And then you have people with new ideas. But again, publicly saying, Ms. McCombs, I'm here. Anything you need, I'm going to roll my sleeves up. I'm going to make sure that people understand and know that you are from Camden and for the people of Camden. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Coleman. A lot of people had very nice things to say about Ms. McCombs, which is fitting because I think everyone here knows we're all on the record supporting her candidacy. So hopefully you and everyone else who had nice things to say about her will do some outreach to the governor and the commissioner of education who have yet to make their final decision, but we're all supporting her. And with that, I'm actually going to pass it over to her to respond to some of the questions and comments that were made earlier.
Thank you very much, Payman, and thank you. First, I'd like to begin just by saying thank you. It's very, 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 very uncomfortable sometimes to hear those accolades because I don't do anything for any other reason for these past 24, going on 25 years that I've been in the district. I have not wanted to do anything other than serve our students. So I do thank you. I do also know there is a scripture in the Bible that says, to whom much is given, much is required, and of whom men expect much, of them they will ask the more. So it is very humbling to even be in this situation, regardless of whatever the final decision is. I will be in Camden until I retire, doing what I've been doing, which is working for the benefit of our students. So I do thank you. I do say thank you publicly to Payman for your leadership, for your support, for just showing and pulling out of me as a person to aspire higher in leadership. And I really would not be sitting in front of you had I not been given an opportunity, just a chance to be able to grow. I thank this board, along with the new membership and the new appointees who I hope to get to know better, and our new officers, and always Miss Wilson, who I've known since I was a cheerleader at Camden High School, cheered with her daughters. And so just everyone at this table cheered for Minister Wasim when he was a basketball player. Everyone at this table I've known in many ways, but now it's time to learn each other in new ways as we move forward, roll up our sleeves to do what's best for our students. So most of the comments and the responses that I have here, many of them are to, most of the things that were said tonight talked about Payman's legacy that he is leaving, and also the legacy that's being left with regard to also wanting to move forward that work. So I've heard a lot of the comments from parents for Greater Camden schools sharing their gratitude for the work that's been done on behalf of their children, but also wanting to know what the path forward it is. And I know that's the same for all students across, all parents, for all of our students across all of our school types in the city. So I look forward to being able to have dialogue and further conversations about that vision. Ms. Ferrante, congratulations on your graduation. Very proud of you. It takes a lot to be a mom and go to school and teach. I know it firsthand, so congratulations and thank you. We do look forward to continuing to work together on behalf of the students. Dr. Benson is not here, so I will address any comments to him directly. Ms. Miller, you had some questions regarding CUSAC and whether or not our Renaissance partners are required also to participate in the CUSAC process, which we know is so vitally critical to determining whether or not local control is returned to our district. Currently, there is no state statute that requires Renaissance schools to participate in CUSAC, but there are standards that are held with regard to education of all of our students in the New Jersey Administrative Code. So happy to talk further about that, but that's a quick answer. And you did have a question about funding. I wasn't sure of what your specific question was, but happy to follow up with you to get the specifics of your question regarding funding for our schools. Ms. Perez, I'm not sure if Ms. Jennifer Perez is still here, but you talked about your son almost being stabbed on the way to school, and you wanted to talk to Payman. I'm happy to talk to you as well. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to talk to you as well, so that we can determine what happened, and figure out what we can do to ensure that we learn from whatever happened and ensure that your child and every other child is safe, as they are going to and from school and also in school. Ms. Turlington, I don't know if you're still here. Aretha Turlington, I think she left. She did a great job. She said she was shy, but with regard to staying committed to the cause, thank you, and I look forward to talking to you further about about what your specific commitment pieces are. Okay, Ms. Martin. Ms. Morton, I'm sorry, you mentioned that your child has not had home instruction, and has been missing school since January. I believe that one of our team members, Anna Mae, reached out to you, and also Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton brought this to our attention, and we believed it was resolved, but we'll make sure that if there are any pieces that are still open, we will finalize those pieces, and we do apologize for any miscommunication that occurred with the school. But again, measures have been put in place to make sure that your specific situation is resolved. Ms. Coleman, regarding safety and security, again, a common theme to and from and during school. I would like to talk more to you about your concerns regarding your child. Transportation, you also discussed, and I believe Anna Mae connected with you while we were also here on stage during this meeting, and look forward to working with you to continue to make sure that your issues are completely resolved. And thank you for sharing so transparently in your emotions, and as well as what you were sharing, what this means to you. Ms. Duckett, you also spoke about the need for more after-school programming, and being more mindful of the needs of our students. That's something we want across the board for all of our students that sit in any of our schools in the district. So look forward to partnering to ensure, to see how we can work with organizations to bring more after-school program and summer school program offerings to all schools in our district. And when I say district, that I'm talking about all schools, all students in our city. Mr. Morton, thank you for sharing with us your experiences, going to Memphis, going to Chicago, seeing how the reform efforts are playing out in those places, and also giving us hope that we know we have come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. I'm looking forward to that shared accountability and making sure that we do deliver on any promises that we're making, first and foremost, to our students. Ms. Ratliff, you're still here. Thank you so much for the time that you've committed to raising foster children, over 100. That is something that is definitely to be commended. And thank you for sharing your gratitude for the educational supports and experience that your grandchild is experiencing. We want to make sure that we keep those going forward. Mr. Barfield, thank you so much for your comments. Happy to talk to you more offline, but appreciate and always open to having further dialogue about your concerns. And one underlining element that you shared is increased accountability, and that is something that we want to make sure continues forward. Ms. Rivera, thank you so much for your comments. Mr. Cooper, Jonathan Cooper as well, thank you for all of that you have shared on behalf of your nieces and nephews as you've come to the meetings. Even though you're moving, look forward to being able to thought partner on ways to continue progress moving forward. And last but not least, Councilman Coleman, thank you so much for your very public display of support for me and for just the work that you do in the city for on behalf of all of our residents. And that is all that I have. If there's anything that was missed, happy to stay around and have conversations about it. But thank you again for your attention.
I'm sorry. Do the board have any comments they would like to discuss or talk about?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. And I just would like to say thank you, Paymon, Hanaford, for your years of service to our students. It was class act, and we appreciate you and look forward to continuing in the work. And you've been a stellar guy and working with our children on and off the court personally. You know, you got beat up for, choosing to coach at Camden High School basketball team, but what else? What other school would you coach at? But nevertheless, and that's, we love all schools, but nevertheless, we always gonna, and Ms. McCombs, we look forward to continue to advocate for you as we all are talking that homegrown, that we would try to be an example of what we're trying to tell the students to do here in the city of Camden, because so many of us, when there was a point in time when the narrative was, once you get educated, to move out. And, I come from the thought, from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of make your community a decent and safe place to live. Make your community a decent and safe place to live, because many times when we go out in the suburban, leave our communities, our beautiful communities, we go out to the suburban districts, we just become only taxpayers. And we don't, we can do that. We can pay taxes here too as well. And it's great to have you chair for the high, and you chair for us, and now we have an opportunity to chair for you. Thank you very much. All right.
Madam President, okay. I just want to say that, like Katrina, I didn't come here until I was 16, but when I did come here, I got all the opportunities in the world to be a successful person, because Camden has always offered some type of educational facility for people to get a good education. And I'm thankful to the Board of Education that when I came through, they had a para-pro program, and they paid for half of my associate degree, and the rest I went on my own. But that's how I got started in education, because the Board of Education helped me. They paid for my tuition. So I felt like I had no choice but to give back to my community. I could have gone to Cherry Hill, I could have gone to Gloucester, I could have gone to Woodbury, wherever, but I wanted to give back to the city that gave me an opportunity. Thank you.
If there's no more questions by the board, I would. Go ahead, Ms. Morton.
Sorry. Today was very refreshing, and I'm very excited to be a part of this group. Paymon, I wanted. Oh, but still, we're in the momentum. Why not? Like being here today and like seeing the different stories and the different people, come to the podium and hearing their experiences and knowing that I was there for some of them, but I helped implement policy on others and push policy, and being able to see firsthand how that was able to, make an effect and a change in an individual and a family's life is, something that like super magic, and so I just want to thank you for that. And, even like when the reporters were calling me, like, do you have something to say about Paymon? I went rambling on about all the specific detailed work that you did and the hard work and all of the art that went into that. And what the final product looked like, even though they just chose the one sentence of, yeah, he did a great job. And I'm like, you're missing the bigger part here. But, I just wanted to thank you for all of that. And I remember when you met Alicia, when you knocked on her door, and, North Camden's going to have a high school now. And, we love Coopers Point. Coopers Point is doing great as well. And so, you've done some really great things. And so we just want to thank you. And you and Kevin and Neha and Ashley, you guys all worked really hard and make sure that, our issues are being heard and addressed. And, yeah, I'm just stuck with that. I probably have other stuff to say, but thank you.
Okay. Are we all done now? I'm looking around. If no one else have anything to say, I would like to have a motion to adjourn.
All right, in accordance with the powers vested in the State District Superintendent under Title 18A, I hereby approve today's superintendent's agenda items and business office agenda items.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? A second?
Second.
As I call your name, say yes or no. Ms. Teresa Atwood? Ms. Catherine Blackshear? Mr. Jose Brito Bueno? Ms. Taisha Manir? Mr. Wasim Mohammed?
Yes.
Mrs. Felicia Reyes Morton? Mrs. Martha Wilson? Mr. Nanam D. Nelson?
Yes.
The meeting is now adjourned.